This week's quick tip has a musical reference for those of you who might be a little older or who appreciate classic rock. You don't want to be Zeppelin and ramble on in your conference calls. I'm sure you all know these people on the calls. They enter the meetings like it's an open mic night and they just keep rambling and going on and on and on and on. And it wastes time, it dilutes decisions, it drains the energy. I think, I fall asleep, right? Clear communications get things done faster. And so today, the tip is about how to stop the meeting jam session and how to communicate like a professional and not just a 7-minute riff like the guy over here on the right. Because what happens is when people ramble on, thoughts wander, timelines wander. There might actually be a good point buried in there somewhere, but there's so much superfluous information that it gets lost, and everybody forgets the agenda. You could see over here on the right, a couple people are sleeping, one person's bored, another person's thinking of something else, and so what happens is you don't meet the objective of your meeting. Decisions get postponed because nobody knows what the point was, and it kind of feels like you're listening to a song with no chorus, right? It just keeps going on and on. I think you get my point. So I'm a big fan of the mayor model, which is say what you need to say. And again, hopefully you get both these references. You want your points clear, 1 to 2 sentences. Stick to what's relevant to the decision or the conversation. Maybe use examples if they support the point, but don't put every detail of the example. Close with an ask or a recommendation, and respect the clock and the attention span, which also requires paying attention, right? Look at your audience, get a sense of sort of self-awareness of how are they responding to things. And I tell you, by being more succinct, that clarity builds trust, momentum, and much faster outcomes. And so, how do you stop rambling and start communicating? Preparation. Prepare your points beforehand. Maybe use a structure where you sort of start with the punchline, some details, and then if there's an ask at the end, you want to verb the verbal detours and side stories and lore from 10 years ago. Definitely don't repeat yourself unless asked, and keep it tied to outcomes and not just activities. And again, ask yourself, based on the audience, what do they need to know right now? And you got to be aware of yourself and other people. See, this guy's rambling with his eyes closed, so he's not even aware of the other guy who still seems somewhat pleased, but I suspect not. So here's the punchline: is you don't want to jam, right? You want to communicate. Meetings need clarity, not extended solos, and rambling just derails the decisions and drains the team. So you want to be concise, to focus on progress, speak with intention. Because remember, you don't want to be like Zeppelin and ramble on. Rather, just say what you need to say.